I, Mark, take you, Christine, to be my wife. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, to love you, to honor you all the days of my life.
I, Christine, take you, Mark, to be my husband. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, to love you and to honor you all the days of my life.
Introduced to you for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Ziccarelli.
doctor says, "It's a girl." And I look at him and I say, "Are you sure?" That's the day I officially became a dad girl. Girl dad. Girl, I'm sorry. I pretty much raised her the way I raised Michael. I signed her up for every sport and taught her how to play all of them. Her athletic ability was phenomenal, but she also excelled in her studies. She graduated high school, a straight A student, and was voted most outstanding female athlete of her senior class. Now we're off to college. Chrissy's majoring in nursing, very tough field. Her first semester, she's having a little trouble with her studies. One of her professors says to her, "Chris, I don't think you're cut out to be a nurse." Well, little did that professor know, Chrissy's competitiveness and her drive kicked in. That's the type of person Chris is. Tell her she can't do something, and watch her go. She always gives 110%. Chrissy now works as a nurse in the ICU unit for Mount Sinai Hospital. While at college, Chrissy meets a boy, some guy Mark from Rivervale, New Jersey. So Chris calls me one day, tell me she's dating a guy. So I'm like, "What's his name? What's he like?" Then she tells me he's a Yankee fan. Uh-oh, strike one. Chris is worried. Mark's not a big fan of dogs. Ryan's always have a dog. Oh no, strike two. I could tell right away. He had good family values, well-mannered, very caring, and hardworking. I'd like to thank Joe and Linda for teaching him that. As it turns out, Mark was a pretty good two-strike hitter, because he hit one out of the park, marrying my daughter, Chris. You know, being a parent is really the most rewarding job in the world. As a dad, especially when you have girls, your hope is they will find someone who will always be there to take care of them and always put them first. Mark, Chrissy couldn't have picked a better guy to do all those things. Welcome to the family, Mark. And let's go Mets.
When Mark had asked me to be his best man, I remember we were all sitting at family dinner. We were talking about the wedding, and Mark turned to me and my brother Matt and said, "Okay, how are we doing this thing?" So basically, what he was asking is if we were all going to take turns at being a best man. So basically, my best man one day will be our brother Matt, and Matt's best man one day will be Mark. And I just point that out for you all to highlight that because I'm speaking tonight, Mark won't be speaking at my future wedding. So I could really let it rip tonight. In all seriousness, Mark has been the best older brother I could have asked for. Mark's taught me countless things and has paved the way for his brothers to follow. He showed me how important it was to work hard in school and set the bar for what good grades meant in our family. He showed me how important it is to treat people kindly, and that's evident with how many friends of his have shown up tonight. He also taught me how you could sneak 30 of your high school friends into your basement and drink beers without your parents finding out. Yeah. Many whom are here tonight. Now, when I was writing this speech, I was trying to think back to the first time that I met Chrissy. But before I ever met her, I was aware of her presence via her baked goods that would appear on our kitchen counter. I remember wondering if this was a tactic to win my dad over, but if it was, it worked. But when I first met Chrissy, her personality stood out to me. It was evident that this was someone that would do anything for anyone, no matter the day, no matter the time. I also picked up quickly on her competitive spirit and her hatred for losing in anything. Beach games, board games, fantasy football, you name it. And as someone with two brothers, I have a passion for trying to beat my brothers in anything I do. But Chrissy is so competitive that I now find just as much joy in beating her as my two brothers. But she got me back big time this summer. We were playing cornhole at the beach, and this is not a brag, but I'm the best cornhole player of the family. So when someone beats me, it's usually a big deal. So my brother Matt and I were facing Mark and Chrissy, and Chrissy had a shot to win and beat me, and sure enough, she did. She made the shot. Now, meanwhile, Mark is at the other end of the board jumping around like a cheerleader. Chrissy didn't say a word. There was no celebration, no nothing. She just looked at me, stuck out her hand for a handshake, and said, "There's a new Ziccarelli in town." Despite that loss I took, I'm so happy for you guys. You guys are the perfect team. Throughout my entire life, Mark has been there to look out for me and support me, and I truly feel like I've gained the same in a sister. I couldn't be happier to have someone as caring and supportive as Chrissy join our family. And with that, I'd like everyone to raise a glass. To Mark and Chrissy, I love you guys, and congratulations. Cheers.
That knows Chris knows there's really nothing she's bad at. She was in all honors classes in high school. She was a 3-sport athlete, won most athletic in her grade. She was very tough to beat out in a lot of things, but she's the easiest person to look up to. When we were kids, my dad always instilled in us how important it is to have a good work ethic, and it truly shows in Chris every day. She managed to plan a wedding, go to school full-time for her nurse practitioner, work her full-time job, and still came home and cooked Mark his home-cooked meals every night. So I'm proud to say I'm now officially Mark's first sister, along with Gab. A true honor for the both of us. Mark, I was honored you included me in ring shopping for Chris. We really pulled off a tough surprise there. Always taking me on dates when Chris is working, and even bringing me to Pooks's for Sunday hangouts and post games with the guys. I probably overstayed my welcome a few times there, but you always brought me along anyway. You really are a great guy, and I'm so glad my sister found you. Since we were little kids, my grandma always loved giving us words of advice. Her favorite saying has always been, "Everything happens for a reason." Mark and Chrissy's journey to get here wasn't always perfect, but you both found your way back to each other, and I truly have never seen you so happy. You bring out the best in each other, and it shows in the smiles that you both have had on your faces all day. To wrap it all up, I just want to say that I couldn't be happier for you both. I couldn't be prouder to call you my older sister, and I was honored to be your maid of honor. I couldn't have picked someone better for you, and I look up to you both every day. So Mark, I hope that you enjoy growing old with her as much as I've enjoyed growing up with her. Cheers to the new Mr. and Mrs. Ziccarelli.